Alright lads and lasses, I'm Xcentric Racer and we are back on Forza Motorsport 7 for more racing. Now I'm going to start with a quick apology for, well, this video taking a long time. Anyway, this one I didn't partake in, but I will thank Yeet and Ren for, well, Yeet for the podiums and the replays and Ren for hosting on my behalf. Speaking of the podiums, race 1, Carver would take the win with Coyote in second, Violet in third. Race 2, Sheep would win with Aaron in second, Longbow in third. Race 3, Edu would win with Rabbit taking second and Carver in third. Now, the car I would have used is this BMW, the 2012 M5. Every single car in this video is A-class and has to weigh over £4,000. My car had 678 horsepower, sport tyres and weighed £4,004. Speaking of the racing, well, we should get on with that. So first race, they headed to Dubai, the city circuit alternate. A lot of complaints that the fact that we went to Dubai is what it is. Instantly, corner 1, this DB11's trying to go around the outside of a Maserati Levante. From what I heard, there was actually a lot of good racing in this, and from the replays I watched, some good overtakes as well. Coming up to the roundabout section, Levante is on the inside of this DB11. A Ferrari Daytona, you saw that pink one, just ran wide and clattered the tyre bundle. That's going to drop them right to the back of the, or at least, well, near the back of the field, if not the back of the field. Up ahead, the 98 Aston Martin Vantage has a big dive up the inside, gets past the DB11, but clatters the side of the Rolls Royce. Thankfully, the Rolls Royce manages to get it all together. The DB11 has a brush on the wall at the next corner. That's going to allow the SL Black, I think it is, the lighting is shocking. Yeah, it was an SL Black to try and get a move, couldn't quite do it. Said Aston Martin, the black one, was making their way up through the field rather nicely. Had the Infinity in the background, was trying to go up the inside of a 3 wide of another green Vantage and a white 03 M5. The Infinity there, I think that was the IPL. Got a little bit of a slide, but was stuck on the outside of this Aston Martin. There was a BMW concept in the middle of this, coming up to the roundabout section. The Infinity was stuck on the outside trying to find a way past this Aston Martin. Would try and do a cutback, was just too far back to make it stick. Gets a little bit of a slide through the next section. The Aston Martin's very wide and unfortunately gets a lot of understeer. That's going to spit them wide, going over the sand as well. Car further back also followed them onto the sand. I think that was the Infinity, and the BMW would get a pair of them as they rejoined the track. A little bit further back, the Rolls Royce was having a Mercedes SL65 Black try and go up the inside. The Bentley, that really struggled down the straight, did have some good cornering. The Rolls Royce was stuck around the outside. The Black does get the position on said Rolls Royce and the Bentley and was trying to chase down a regular challenger. This Rolls Royce was stuck on the outside of a 3 wide. There was an Ice Charger and a Vantage up the inside. There was also a wooden Ferrari, as well as both of them go around the outside of that Bentley and the Ice Charger. That was really well done, and they're both side by side. The Ferrari gets a little bit of a better run, however doesn't have the straight line speed of this Rolls Royce. It's going to be stuck on the outside through the roundabout section. The Ice Charger goes up the inside of both of them, and the wooden Ferrari gets a double cutback. That was really well done. And the Ice Charger keeps its position against the blue Royce. However, the wooden Ferrari ahead goes very wide. Yes, you did see there, that was a Bronco on 2 wheels. And I'm pretty sure it fell over there. I can't really see on the replay. They're going 2 wide through the next section. It's really dark and I can't see who. I think it was the wooden Ferrari on the Ice Charger. I think the Ice Charger did get its position back on said Ferrari. The said Ferrari is trying to fight back. However, both of them were just too far ahead for this Rolls Royce to, well, start fighting with them. A little bit further back, the pink Ferrari Daytona that had a big crash at turn 1 was starting to recover through the field. It was going up the inside of one of the many 300 SELs. Through turn 1, there was a little bit of sideways. Another SEL goes up the inside of a blue one. This Daytona gets an incredible run. Goes past the green Vantage, goes past that Bentley, and is up the inside of a white BMW 850 through the roundabout section. The 850 gets a little bit of a slide and a little bit of an understeer as well. Gets a lot of neutral steer, sorry. Through the roundabout section. It's going to spit them very wide, allowing the Daytona for an easy pass up the inside. I'm pretty sure further back as well they were bumper to bump. Actually, I may have not remembered, but Bentley goes very wide, gets a big jump over a sand dune. The wooden Ferrari, I don't know if it was assisted or not, ends up in the wall through that fast left-hander, and unfortunately would drop right away down the field. The black Aston Martin, the white M5, managed to catch up to a blue Challenger Hellcat. Both of them were on the outside. This M5 was on the very, very outside. The Aston Martin tried to go on the outside, decided to go for a cutback. The Challenger tried to go up the inside of the M5. It's just a little bit too far back. The M5 just had more straight line speed, allowing it to stay ahead. Coming into the roundabout section, the Vantage is going to go up the inside of this M5, gets the nose ahead, and unfortunately the M5 just over bump gets the back end stepping out. That's going to allow that black Vantage just to get an easy overtake up the inside and just dropping the M5 at position. The Challenger Hellcat as well, I think, had a little bit of an issue further back that allowed the SL Black to get an overtake. Another 850, the 850 was also a popular choice, was having a green Vantage and a SEL for company. The green Vantage goes up the inside of this BMW. That SEL up ahead was very good down the straight, a little bit of a handful through the corners, but this white and black 850 is going to try and fight back with that green Aston Martin going up the inside, coming down to turn 1. Excuse me, it's going to get the car alongside, it's going to keep it there. Unfortunately, I think, what it does, it just clips the wall on the inside there. It's going to spit it sideways, allowing the Aston Martin to defend the position. Also ignore that car. That's a car that left. Can't remember if it lagged out or not. This Cadillac, it was nice to see someone actually bring a Cadillac. I think this is the CTS-V Coupe. I could be wrong. Was staring at the back of a purple Challenger, a regular one, not a Hellcat. Pink Daytona goes very wide, again gets a big jump, just like the Bentley. And also the Cadillac was staring at the back of the blue Rolls Royce. Coming into the tunnel, it was just a little bit too far back to really make anything. Coming out the tunnel, the Cadillac does get a very good run. Would catch up to the back of the Rolls Royce. It's just a tiny bit squiggly through the final corner. The Dawn does have a lot of handling. I know it's a Rolls Royce and yet it has a lot of handling. It's the size of, well, it's a fridge basically. And was trying to find a way past the purple Challenger. The Cadillac gets a little bit of a slide, however it actually got a very, very good run through the first corner. Is staring now at the back of those two whilst those two fight. Coming up now to the roundabout, the Dawn tried to go up the inside, couldn't quite do it. The Cadillac is instead going to try and go up the inside of that Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce was a little bit too far ahead of the Cadillac. It's still on the inside, but Rolls Royce just has enough handling, more handling actually, to keep its position against this Cadillac. The Cadillac is forced to run wide, does have to step on the brakes a little bit with the Rolls Royce's understeer, so it has to drop back, and that is allowing that pink Daytona to start joining in the fight. The Ice Charger runs a little bit wide and clatters the wall. This Cadillac goes a little bit wide, scratches the wall. The Daytona spots an opportunity through the final corner, is going to throw it up the inside, is going to get that position. The stick is alongside, got the nose ahead, and that Daytona has more straight line speed, and that is going to allow it to get that position against this Cadillac. That was a very good move actually as well. The Daytona gets a little bit of a sideways moment as well. The Bronco, I got a front wheel stuck through the floor. It front flipped when they went on the brakes. Thank God we had ghost mode on because it was in a really bad position. be stuck on the floor through first corner as well, as cars just race by. Yeah, there you are. So we've had a roll before, and now we've got a car completely and utterly wedged as a plane goes around in the background. Well, now that we're back with cars with 4 wheels on the road and not one in, this M6, the chrome one with flags on it, watching a battle between a Bentley, the Speed 6 concept, I can't remember exactly, and the DB11. The M6 gets a little bit of a sideways moment through the fast left-hander coming into the tunnel. Is looking up the inside of a Bentley. Both of them run wide. The Bentley even wider. Gets a little bit of a squish through that corner. However, BMW does have a lot more straight line speed than that Bentley. That Bentley struggled through the straights. Was very good through the corners though. Excuse me. But lacked a lot of straight line speed, and I think was coming under fire from one of the cars further back. The Ice Charger was battling with the white, very quick down the straight 300 SEL. The SEL gets a big sideways moment through the fast, bumpy right-hander. The Charger has the inside and it's got just that more grip. It's going to allow it to go up the inside. Does run a little bit wide, keeping in mind that that 300 does have a lot of acceleration. However, keeps the position just due to its better handling. The Merc, I think, managed to keep out the wall. The green Aston Martin didn't. That was going to allow a white 850, one of two of the exact same liveries, to get the position and be up the inside. The Rolls-Royce did manage to get past the regular Challenger, was now having to chase down a Daytona, and the Hellcat Challenger. Excuse me. There you are, live sneezes. Trying to chase down both of them. Both of the Daytona was very quick down the straight, was looking round the roundabout. The Cadillac, I think, tried to go out the outside of someone through the roundabout. Yeah, goes past the purple regular Challenger, gets that position to stick. The Daytona's looking up the inside of that Hellcat, is a little bit too far back, gets a little bit sideways through the corner. And coming through the left-hander again, it's just on the back of it. It's taking very compromised lines, trying to find a way past. That Hellcat is not going to be able to do it. And whilst they're fighting, the Rolls-Royce is going to try and go around the outside of a 3 wide of a Hellcat and a Daytona. The Daytona is up the inside. That's going to, and does get that position to stick. The Rolls-Royce couldn't quite get that position on the Hellcat. And whilst these three were fighting, the Cadillac and the regular Challenger were catching up to the back of this group. The Rolls-Royce gets a better run than that Hellcat. I think the Hellcat has a bit of a tag on the wall. Unfortunately, the Rolls-Royce throws it up the inside, and I think I can't tell if they got connected or not. Just how break themselves ever so slightly, so would lose 3 positions. So, and the Cadillac did manage to get that Hellcat, I think, went up the inside. Coming around to the roundabout section, the Cadillac is still up the inside. The Hellcat is trying to go around the outside. The regular Challenger is looking for a way past. It's just going to watch those two fight. And Levante up ahead is a lap down. The Cadillac gets a little bit of a slide over the bumps. It does lean on the Levante. The Challenger Hellcat leans then on the Cadillac, so there's a lot of leaning going over there. The Levante goes well up the inside of the clatters the wall, and unfortunately, it was just a little bit in the way. It does run very wide, and there was a lot of calamity through that final corner, through the third and final corner. The Infiniti, I believe it's an IPL. I could be completely wrong. Would take the win. This is Carver. They chose the Infiniti and would get the victory. Started near the front, and just managed to get a clean breakaway later on in the race, and yeah. And was just able to keep consistent and take the victory. Second race, Nürburgring GP. The Ice Charger gets a very good launch up against the white 300 SEL and a black and purple Camaro. I think, yeah, that was in the Levante. There was a big shunt into turn 1, a lot of learning of braking points and things like that, because, well, you're trying to stop cars that are over £4,000, then not easy. Not easy to stop at all. The Charger gets a little bit tagged, goes sideways. The Cadillac gets about 8 cars in one corner. that was really impressive. Gets about I don't know how many was actually there, but there was a lot of cars that Cadillac went up the inside of. That was, well, yeah, that was really well positioned, really well timed. Ice Charger does manage to get out though of that section in very good place indeed. Was going to look past, try and get past this blue Hellcat, but couldn't quite do it. A black, white and green 850, there was a lot of black and white BMW 850s, was looking up the inside of the black and grey Vantage, a red SL. The red SL black goes very wide to the hairpin, the BMW goes up the inside, is trying to look past the Bentley 6 concept. They get a little bit connected together through the chicane, but the Bentley just doesn't have the straight line speed of this BMW, nor in fact the Vantage behind. The Vantage tried to go up the inside, the Bentley is just hung out to dry. It does temporarily lose its position, however, is up the inside defending, but the Aston Martin was just far enough ahead and managed to get that position against the Bentley. Further back, the purple Challenger was also going to try and find a way past that Bentley. The Bentley was unfortunately just falling through the field. Coming up now to the chicane, the Bentley misses the braking point, locks up, and does go and tie bundle and waits for people to go past. The Challenger does manage to just keep it out of the tie bundle, doesn't lose any positions. The SL Black goes up the inside of a Rolls Royce. The M5 is under threat from something. I couldn't tell what it was. It was a white, black and orange red 850. One of the two same liveried cars actually. They're going 3 wide further back, the M5 up the very inside, Rolls Royce in the centre, the SL Black round the outside. The Challenger just runs a little bit wide, the BMW upbreaks itself ever so slightly, the Dawn gets out the bear of all the 4 of them. It's trying to look up the inside of this purple Challenger now. It's just a little bit too far back through the second corner, through the third corner. It's going to try again up the inside, tags the Challenger, gets a little bit of a sideways, and the Challenger has a 1 tyre fire through the next 2 corners. Sounds a bit like a dodgy diff. SL Black, I think, managed to get its position on the M5. The M5 is still on the inside though, through the next corner. However, the SL manages to keep it there. That's going to give it the inside for this corner and would keep that position. The Rolls Royce couldn't quite get the position on the regular Challenger. One of the same livery BMWs, this white, black and orange Mobile 1, was trying to find a way past the Camaro. That Camaro is that was the Ford Bronco originally. I couldn't think of the wording there. The Dawn up ahead tried to go too wide through the chicane, unfortunately was just a little bit too far back to get that position on the purple Challenger. This BMW was under threat from 2 300 SELs, one of them the blue one, and then the white very quick down the straight line one. Coming out onto the back straight, there's just a lot of cars together, and Camaro gets a little bit of a wiggle coming onto the straight. The 300 tries to go up the inside of the kink actually, against this 850, couldn't quite do it. 850 was trying as well to go up the inside. The SEL throws it up the inside. Unfortunately, the 850 just gets a little bit sideways and would just spit it out. Would wait though for the pack to get ahead of it though. Further up, the Camaro, that was originally the Ford Bronco, was trying to find its way past this red SL65 Black. In the background, you can see the white 300 SEL catching up massively to the back of this group. The Rolls Royce leading, the Camaro being a bit late on the brakes. Was just saying hello to the SL Black. Just gives it a nice rub on the back bumper there. Nothing really came of it. The SL though understeers wide through the next corner. That's just going to allow the Camaro just to throw it up the inside uncontested, and would get that position to stick against this SL. The SL runs very wide through the next corner, gets a little bit of a sideways. The 300 SEL in the background does struggle a lot through the first section of Nürburgring. However, gets a big advantage into the second half of this corner. The Camaro tried to go up the inside of the Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce defending against that Camaro. The SL Black was a lot faster than the Camaro down the straight, would try go up the inside at the bottom hairpin, however was just too far back to make that position. The other same liveried BMW 850 was staring at the back of a green Vantage, that was staring at the back of something, yep, there we are, the green Bentley concept car. Coming now through the very fast chicanes, the Aston Martin was struggling a lot up here. The 850 had a lot of straight line speed compared to it coming up the chicane, however was just too far back to make that position. Stick the Aston Martin would go very defensive try and get past the Bentley was just too far back. In the background, a blue SEL was starting to join in this fight, and the two same liveried BMWs were now fighting amongst each other. The Aston Martin runs very wide, gets a very compromised run and loses 3 positions. And both the same liveried 850s are now racing down, coming up to the chicane. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of Forza desync there. Whatever one just connected the other one. Thing 1 and Thing 2 had a little bit of a crash. That would allow the blue SE300 SEL to get up the inside of both of them, get 2 positions in that one corner. The green Vantage was keen to follow, unfortunately couldn't quite do it. The red Camaro up ahead, well further up, was looking round the outside of an 03 M5. The Camaro was very good through the corners, does lack straight line speed, much like that Bentley. However, the Camaro had the advantage of, well, it was in a real mean car, so it actually started near the front. Would get that position to stick on that M5, just going round the outside of it, being on the inside for the next corner, just with its superior handling, would make light work through the turns against that M5. Was now starting to look at the back of that purple Challenger. That was just, well, sort of there, just in its own sort of world, not really racing against each other. Was now starting to have a Camaro for company, would start a Challenger versus Camaro fight and battle. This was a little, I think it was a little bit further back or further, I can't remember the top of my head, I think it's further back. Yeah, it is. The 300 SEL managed to find its way past this Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce was trying to find its way past through the chicane, couldn't quite do it. The 300 just had enough straight line speed, enough acceleration to keep it ahead, and was, well, it wasn't terrible through the corners. The race winner, the Infinity, was now starting to catch up to these two, as these two fought massively. Coming on now to the back straight, the Rolls Royce was too far back, it was trying to look on the outside. However, that Mercedes is just good enough through the corners, was just enough ahead, and that when it came to the straight, it would be able to keep ahead of that Rolls Royce. The Infinity is trying to look up the inside of that Rolls Royce coming into the chicane. I don't know the names of the corners. The Rolls Royce goes across the curb. The Infinity gets a little bit of a slide, but the Infinity just has that bit more acceleration than the Rolls Royce. Would keep its position, would get the overtake on that Rolls Royce. Gets a big slide out of the final corner, though the Rolls Royce doesn't. It gets a much better run. It's going to be on the inside, coming into the braking zone at turn 1. The 300 just gets a little bit of a run, clean air, runs away through the back straight. Further back, and yep, the green Vantage was now staring at the back of one of the thing 1 or 2, I don't really know, I've not really named them, 850s coming up into the first corner. There were 4 cars coming into a big braking zone at turn 1. They do manage to keep it all together. One of the BMWs gets a big sideways moment, just a lot of wheel spin out the final corner. This Aston Martin runs very deep into the next corner, cuts the grass just a little bit. The DB11 in the background was just what was starting to catch up to this group. Both the Thing 1 and Thing 2 would have a little bit of fight coming into the next corner. Both of them still side by side. One of them, I think, had the slight straight line speed advantage compared to the other. Coming into the next corner, one of them did have to check up and make sure not to go into the back corner of their twin. Well, I say it's a twin. The difference is that one of them's got a different bonnet, so brothers really. However, would be compromised through the next section. One of them would go around the outside of the blue 300 SEL, would try and get the position to stick. The Aston Martin was staring at the back of the other 850, which was staring at the back of the 850. Yeah, it was unintentional. I managed to pick the same livery. It was quite funny though. It's a pain in the arse for me to commentate though. The 300 SEL though up ahead did manage to keep its position for the time being though. However, the 850 would try its luck again, going up the inside of that blue 300 SEL. The 300 SEL would then throw it up the inside against that Bentley concept car. Would get that position to stick, following bumper to bumper. All five of them are practically bumper to bumper down the back straight. The Aston Martin is going to try and go up the inside of the 850, runs wide, goes across the grass, both of them. Coming up now to the chicane, the DB11 is now in this fight as well, coming through the chicane. The 300 leads against one of the twin BMWs. Unfortunately, the Aston Martin and the other BMW just get a little bit connected together through that chicane, and that would drop them both back. However, there was still a fight up ahead. There was a little bit of a gap out the final corner. The DB11 did manage to get through the little off between the two cars further back. The Bentley was now trying under brakes to see if it could find a way past this. Well, one of the brother 850s couldn't quite do it through the first corner. Through the second corner as well, it was just losing a little bit of time on that. The blue 300 SEL was still keeping its position ahead of the brother 850. A DB11 was starting to catch up to the back of this of the Bentley at the front, and this Chevy was leading for a very long amount of time. The one that disconnected from race 1 was having a Cadillac for company in the background. A pink Daytona would start catching up as these two fought heavily. The Cadillac goes up the inside, coming onto the back straight. They're both rubbing side by side. The Chevy has that little bit more straight line speed. However, the Cadillac has the inside of the kink, but this car hasn't quite fallen back just yet. It's coming through the chicane now. It's going to try and throw it up the inside through the chicane. The Cadillac runs wide. That's going to force this Chevy to run right, and the Daytona is up the inside of both of them. They're coming up now to the final corner. The Daytona leans on the Cadillac, which in turn pushes it wide, forcing it into this blue Chevrolet, and the Daytona, with its straight line speed advantage, would run away and take the win against these two. And it was a drag race down to the line between the Chevrolet and the Cadillac, and the Chevrolet would take second place. That Cadillac would have to settle for third. It was a very, very good battle though. They just caught right at the very end. That was on the cooldown lap. Third and final race, the Aston Martin North Circuit at night this time. I mean, it actually works this time because the circuit had lights. Not a quarter though, and now you know. Coming down the first corner, there's just a blur of lights. We are following the white 300 SEL. That's very quick down the straights. Rolls Royce gets very sideways, just gets connected together with other cars, being forced wide, going into the runoff section. It's going to lose it a lot of time, and is now, I'm pretty sure, in the middle of like a 4 or 5 wide, coming now into the chicane. Was dumped right to the back of the field. Chicane, one of the brother 850s gets a big sideways moment out of one of the chicanes. Would be at the inside though of the black and grey Aston Martin Vantage. That would start, that Vantage would in turn outrun the blue 300 SEL down the straight. However, this white 300 SEL was faster and went past the blue 300, was now trying to find a way past that black and purple Camaro. The Camaro outbraking itself a lot. The Bentley just struggled a little bit through this corner. The white 300 was round the outside of the Bentley this time, would be on the inside for the final corner. The black and grey Vantage got a little bit of a breakaway, would start chasing down, I think that's the M6, yeah, the M6 would try and go around the outside through turn 1. Further back, the blue Challenger Hellcat, I think it is, still can't barely see it at night, would go round, would get a position on that Bentley. The Bentley is just slowly dropping back through the field. The white M5 in the background would go the inside of the fast right-hander as well. Excuse me. Right, a little bit further back as well, the green Vantage was stuck in a massive fight. The pink Daytona, unfortunately, ran very wide, assisted or not, and just got planted into the wall. Would drop to the very back of this fight. The DB11 gets a very bad run coming onto the straight. As a lot of cars are fighting side by side, a Cadillac is in this mix, go with its superior straight line speed. Just unfortunately, just spins out. I think there was a little bit of desync. Just spins out one of the brother 850s in the back. The Camaro gives a little bit of a tap to the Ice Charger. Rolls Royce as well was very good on the brakes. Was a little bit too, just gave taps to the back of this green Vantage. Would be up the inside though of that black Camaro, the Forza Edition Camaro as well. Speaking of the DB11, I had a very bad run, was now, well, staring at the back of this big group, the BMW that spun out. I actually did manage to catch up very effectively. That's how close this fighting was, how much they were fighting. The white DB11 was going to try go around the outside of the 850, one of the brother 850s. That would give it the inside line for this next section. I think it just tags both of them, just get connected together through that corner though. The 850 is going to be up the inside through the first part of the chicane, but it's going to be around the outside of the next part of the chicane. But if you can keep it there, you're going to be on the inside for the hairpin, and indeed it does. The Chevrolet that won race 2 would be up the inside of that green Vantage. Both Aston Martins run very wide. I think the Camaro had a little bit of a spin through the hairpin, would then be dumped to the back of this fight. The DB11 didn't really have the straight line speed of the cars up ahead, would start dropping back, and at this very long back straight, speed is a very nice advantage to have. Coming into the braking zone though, and the Aston Martin immediately closes right to the back of that of one of the brother BMWs. The Rolls Royce had an off as well, I think span out as well. That would be in ghost mode, and that would now start coming under threat from this DB11, trying to find its way past the 850 as well. Would be going around the outside at turn 1. Does have to check up to not completely annihilate the green Aston Martin. Gives it a little bit of a tap, but the Aston Martin manages to get around the corner safely. The brother 850, one of them, would now try and get its position past the green Vantage, would end up going around the outside of the next corner, would get that position to stick. The Camaro is going to try and go around the outside through the first part of this the first chicane of the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin defends very well. The green Vantage tried to find its way back past this Camaro. Is going to try and go up the inside of the hairpin, was too far back to make it. The Rolls Royce gets a very good run through that chicane. Is going to try and go up the inside as well. Further up, the white M5 was under fire from the white 300 SEL. The SEL gets a very good move up the inside of the double left-hander. The SEL had a lot of straight line speed, was liking this track very much as well. Getting up the inside of that M5. The M5 though was very good on the brakes and would try and find its way back past this 300 SEL. The SEL was struggling massively was struggling quite a bit through the first section. That would allow the M5 would start gaining time. However, it was just still too far back in the background. The black, white and green 850 was also starting to catch up ever so slightly to this group, coming up now to the chicane, and they were sort of they had their distance between themselves. The white BMW would start closing big though through the hairpin. Again, was a little bit too far back. The white and black and green 850 as well closed through the hairpin, but was too far back to actually make any positions also. Down the straight though, the 300 SEL, a lot of acceleration, actually didn't have the top end. That was one issue with it. It didn't have the top end. That allowed the M5, that was also very quick down the straights, to actually to start fighting back. The M5 you saw up there actually started gaining towards the end of the straight. The SEL missed its braking point, runs very deep. That's going to allow the BMW to be right on the back of that 300 SEL. The SEL, with a very bad run, would be under fire from this M5. I may have contradicted what I said before. Further back, yep, there was still a big fight going on. It was there was still a huge fight going near the back. The car we are following, the Bentley, and the Rolls Royce up the inside. Two big luxury brands rubbing against each other. Yeah, that's going to cost a lot of money to repair, especially. The Rolls Royce gets up the inside of the Bentley, also overtakes that Camaro Forza Edition. The Bentley was looking for a way past this Camaro as well. The DB11, I think managed to overtake that Vantage, because the Vantage did run wide out of the long sweeping right-hander. There's a few bumps out there. Yas is actually quite a danger. Yas is it's a good track I find, but it can be quite dangerous if you're not careful. The Camaro and the Ace 2 winner, I think it's a Chevy, I can't remember the exact car off the top of my head. I could be saying the wrong brand for all I know. Down the straight, they would get connected together. The Rolls-Royce did have a very good run. The Bentley was fighting and covered further back. Up ahead, the Ice Charger was having an SL Black. For company, the SL Black runs across on the curbs on the inside, trying to find a way past. Is going to compromise it very badly through that corner, and that's just going to lose a lot of time. You saw how much time it lost. It was now coming under fire from that Daytona. The Daytona was really flying at this circuit, was doing an incredible recovery drive as well. The Ice Charger would go up the inside of the white M5, was trying to find a way past as well. The black, white and green 850, the 850 runs very wide out the front corner, manages to get back onto the track though, or it might be, depth perception might be messing with me. The M5 with its superior straight line speed to almost every single car here would just fire past the 850. The 850 was having to defend from the Ice Charger. The Daytona with just a lot of straight line speed would just fire past all like 3 cars down that straight. I think did outbrake itself. By the back, yep, they was still fighting. The 2 Aston Martins, the green Vantage and the pink DB11, yeah, they were still fighting amongst themselves. The Vantage did have a little bit more straight line speed than this DB11. The DB11 was very, very good on the brakes, would go up the inside of the, double right-hander, would get that position to stick, coming through the final corner. It was far enough ahead to keep its position against the green Vantage, and was, excuse me, the DB11 wouldn't defend. The Vantage would then throw it up the inside, trying to get that position to stick. The DB11 though is still very good through the corners. It's actually superior to that Vantage, so I would keep the position for now. But the Vantage did have that acceleration. Would try again the inside through the next corner, just couldn't quite do it. Would drop back. The DB11 though runs wide through the sweeping right-hander. That would allow the Vantage to regain lost time. Coming up now to the chicane, would go up the inside of the first section, get that position to stick, but the DB11 tried to fight back through the next section, and coming up to the hairpin, the DB11 would throw it up the inside of the Vantage, get a big sideways moment. That was really unfortunate, because that was a really good passing. However, it did actually manage to get a better run than the green Vantage. Would keep it up the inside. The green Vantage did have a bit more straight line speed. Again, back further up, the Daytona, yeah, well, when it managed to get past, well, the Ice Charger, the SL Black, and I think the white and green 850. I can't really see on the screen. No, it's there, didn't quite get the position. The SL Black was fighting through the corners. The Daytona, like I said, was very quick down the straights, would struggle through the corners compared to the 2 cars behind it. The Ice Charger would have a big throw up the inside of the SL Black, just knocks on the door. It's a big sideways moment. The SL Black goes up the inside of both the Daytona and the Charger. However, the Daytona just has a lot more straight line speed. The Ice Charger as well, with a decent run, would try and get past the SL Black, but the SL Black just had that smidge more straight line speed. The Daytona flew past the 850. It would get on the brakes nice and early, make the call, and the SL Black outbraked themselves quite a bit through the double left-hander side, and that would just drop it back so many times. It was a good fight though. How it would go to the back of this little fight. The BMW M5 was being drawn into it by this Daytona's superior straight line speed at the front, and the black and grey Vantage managed to, well, just stay out of trouble. It started, it just had a very good run. It managed to get through the field and would take the win. So yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed. I will apologise. I do apologise for this video coming out slightly late. I tried to get it out on time, so the commentary might be a little bit rushed, and quite just pleth with full of mistakes. I do apologise for that. I hope it was worth it in the end. if you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, hit the unreliable notification bell. If you would like to take part in these races, first link in the description will be the Discord where this event is hosted. The second line will just be my Discord. Feel free to join that as well. Yeah, I do have my own Discord. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch this event. However, that is it from me. Until next time, ciao for now.